So in today's video, I'm going to be bringing you guys my 1 to 20 2022-23 Premier League table predictions. If you do go on to enjoy today's video, make sure you drop a like on it. 70 likes on today's video would be absolutely class. Subscribe if you are new as well. We are now on the road to 7,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already with that post notification bell on. It's free to do so and it does massively help out. Get your predictions in as well down in the comment section down below. Who do you think's winning the league, top 4, and which 3 teams do you think will go down? I've got some interesting picks in there. Now, I'm a Bradford City fan. We play in League 2, so I have no bias towards any of these teams, so it's just completely my opinion. I like to think I've got some half-decent ball knowledge, but I'm sure a lot of you will disagree if you don't like where I've placed your team. But some teams have to go down. That is just the way a football table works, and that is just my prediction. So make sure you drop a like on today's video, subscribe if you are new as well, and let's get into it. Starting out then in 20th place, I have gone with AFC Bournemouth. They've not really done too much business. They brought Ryan Fredericks in from West Ham, Joe Rothwell in from Blackburn, Marcus Tavernier from Middlesbrough, but obviously they did a lot of business in January, but they've not done enough business. I just don't think their squad is anywhere near Premier League quality. I don't think they'll quite have enough to stay up. I do think they've got a very good team for the Championship, but there's just not much Premier League quality in there. I don't think they've really got a Premier League proven goal scorer. Their only 2 strikers are Dom Solanke and Kiefer Moore. Are either of them going to score between 10 and 15 goals? I personally don't think so. It's a very obvious pick to pick Bournemouth to finish bottom of the league, but I'm going to say the Cherries will be relegated back down to the Championship. 19th place, and something that might come as a little bit of a surprise, I've not gone with Fulham in 19th. I've gone with Leeds United. Obviously, the 2 massive losses in Calvin Phillips and Rafinha. Calvin Phillips, I understand, was injured for a lot of last season. I do think they've brought in some good signings. Will they all gel together? I'm not really so sure. I do really like the signing of Mark Rocker, and I do also like the signing of Tyler Adams as well. I just don't think their squad is any stronger than what it is last season. I think they will struggle this year. Bamford keeping fit for the whole season will be massive to Leeds' success this year. If Leeds are to stay up, he needs to stay fit for the full season because he's a goal scorer in the Premier League, but last season he struggled so much with fitness, and I feel like that could be the same again this season. I'm personally not a fan of Jesse Marsch as a manager, and I think Leeds United will be relegated back down into the Championship. 18th place, I have gone with Fulham. I do still have them to get relegated back down into the Championship, but not in 19th place. I'm really liking some of their signings like Bern Leno, Kevin and Babu, and João Palhinha. The guy from Sporting Lisbon, the central midfield, I have no idea how you pronounce his name. I think that's a very good signing. Andreas Pereira as well, he's a decent player. And I feel like their squad is better than what it was last season. Obviously, they were unbelievable last year. Can Mitrovic score between 10 and 15 goals this season? There's a possibility Harry Wilson is also going to be out for a couple of months as well with a knee injury. That's a massive loss for them. I just don't quite think they'll have enough this season to stay up. I think it'll be a lot closer than what it has been for them in the previous couple of times they have been in the Premier League. But for me personally, I think Fulham will be finishing in 18th. 17th place, and just avoiding the drop, I have gone with Southampton. A lot of people seem to think Southampton will be picking up that final relegation spot with Bournemouth and Fulham. I think they'll just about have enough to stay up this season. I think they definitely need to get another striker in before the end of the window. I'm looking at their striking options: Che Adams, Adam Armstrong and Sekou Mara. I don't know anything about the latter. Adam Armstrong's not really done it at Premier League level. Che Adams is a decent player at this level, but he's not going to be able to keep them up single-handedly. Obviously, they've still got James Ward-Prowse as well. Joe Aribo from Rangers is a fantastic signing. I think they will just about have enough this season to stay up. I do also really like the signing of Gavin Bazunu as well from Manchester City. Southampton fans, who will be your number 1 next season? Will it be Bazunu? Will it be Alex McCarthy? Caballero is also at the club, and they've also got a youngster called Mateus Liss. So let me know down in the comment section down below who will be the number 1 for the upcoming campaign. 16th place, I have gone with Everton. I don't think their squad is any stronger than what it is last season. In fact, I think it's probably weaker. Losing Richarlison is a big loss for them, but to get £60 million for him, I think is fantastic business. But then to spend between 20 and 30 million of that on Dwight McNeil, a man who got 0 goals and 1 assist last season, is really poor business. Not a fan of McNeil for me personally. Anthony Gordon, I think they're relying quite a lot on him having another really good season, but they just waste a lot of money to Everton. Like, well, how much did they spend on Dele Alli? Wasn't it like 40 million on Dele Alli? It's something ludicrous like that. If Dominic Calvert-Lewin stays fit for the whole season, I think he could have a very good campaign, but I don't think their squad is any better than what it was last season. They struggled last season. Frank Lampard's still a fairly unproven manager as well in the Premier League, but I'm going to go with the 16th place for Everton. 15th spot, I have gone with Nottingham Forest, the team who were promoted last season via the playoffs. They have done a lot of business, bringing in Taiwo Awoniyi, probably absolutely butchered his name, from Union Berlin. I think that's a very good signing. Jesse Lingard as well on a 1-year deal. I don't think it's a bad bit of business whatsoever. Lewis O'Brien is a fantastic player. He's more than ready for that step up into the Premier League. He was also previously with my team Bradford City a couple seasons ago on loan. Then they've also brought in players like Nico Williams, Harry Toffolo, Moussa Niakate. I think the signing of Dean Henderson on loan from Manchester United is an absolutely fantastic signing. I think Steve Cooper as well is a fantastic manager. And then they've got the players who were there last season, Joe Worrell, Scott McKenna. They needed to bring in some good players because they lost players like Jed Spence, James Garner, Zinkernagel as well, who were all big parts of their success last season. But I think they've more than adequately replaced them. I think Nottingham Forest will be finishing 15th in the upcoming campaign. 14th place, I have gone with Brentford. Again, I'm liking some of their recruitment. Ben Mee, I think, is a Premier League proven centre-half. He does a very good job at this level. Thomas Strakosha as well comes in for a little bit of competition in goal. Brentford fans will be the number one between Raya and Strakosha. Let me know down in the comment section down below. Keane Lewis Potter as well from Hull. I think that's a very good signing. Obviously, they've still kept hold of Ivan Toney. Brian and Bueno is still at the club as well. You know, they've got some very good players at this level. I think Brentford won't be facing any second season syndrome, and I'm going to go with them to finish 14th for the upcoming campaign. 13th place, I have gone with Brighton. Not really done all too much business at the time of recording as well. They do still have Cucurella. If he does go, I think that will be a big loss for them, but if they can get 50-60 million pounds and then reinvest that would be some very good business for them. I'm liking their squad. I don't really want to speak too much about Brighton because they're kind of just going to be in the middle of the table. They're never going to be in any sort of a relegation battle. I don't think they've got anywhere near enough to really challenge for a Europe spot, so I'm going to go with 13th place finish for Brighton. 12th place, I have gone with Aston Villa. Now, their squad is actually very good. I genuinely think their squad should be challenging for at least like a Europa Conference spot. I'm not overly convinced on Steven Gerrard as a manager. I don't think it helps that Danny Ings and Ollie Watkins have been very inconsistent in the past couple of seasons, especially last year. They just couldn't hit a barn door, either of them. Cameron Archer was very good on loan at Preston in the second half of last season. Could he maybe get his chance for the upcoming campaign? Obviously, they've got back Felipe Coutinho on a permanent basis. Boubacar Kamara on a free transfer is an absolutely fantastic piece of business. Diego Carlos as well, very good goalkeeper. Not goalkeeper, sorry. That's because I was reading about Robin Olsen coming in on a permanent basis from Roma. Diego Carlos is a fantastic centre-half from Sevilla, 29 as well. He's at a good age, and I think they've got a very good squad. Just not overly convinced on Steven Gerrard. He could prove me wrong this season. I'm going to go with the 12th place finish for Aston Villa. 11th place, I have gone with Wolverhampton Wanderers. Again, very similar to Brighton. I feel like they're just going to be in that middle of the park. I don't think their team's particularly good enough to challenge for a European spot. They're going to be nowhere near relegation, but I think they've got a good team, not a great team. They've not really done too much in the way of transfer business. They brought Nathan Collins in from Burnley for a fee of around about £20 million. They made Hwang Hee-chan a permanent basis as well. Had a couple of players come back from loan, but yeah, not really too much business. Jimenez been injured for the first few months of the season. I think it is a massive loss for them. I do think they need to get in another striker and maybe move on someone like a Bonatini or a Catrone, because them transfers haven't really worked out. I know they got rid of Fabio Silva out on loan for the season, but I'm going to go with an 11th place finish for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Moving into the top half, and in 10th place, I have gone with Leicester City. Again, not really done all too much recruitment, to be honest with you. They've been heavily rumoured that James Maddison could be on his way to Newcastle. Yuri Tielemans has been linked with every team under the sun at the moment as well. So it was also confirmed a few days ago that Kasper Schmeichel will be leaving the club as well after an 11-year stay. So their team is slowly starting to fall apart. You know, they do have a very good squad. Brendan Rodgers is kind of gone a little bit stale at Leicester, hasn't it? They were really progressing. It looked like they were going to be in the Champions League for a few seasons, and then they just kept falling off. And then last season, it was a really poor season for Leicester. But I'm going to go with the 10th place finish for them. 9th place, I have gone with Crystal Palace. I'm definitely very excited by their squad for the upcoming campaign. Check the core from RC Lens, I think, is an absolutely fantastic signing. They've got some very good players like Michael Elise, Eberiche, Eze, Wilfred Zaha, Malcolm Ebiowe, Odson Edouard, Jean-Philippe Matete. You know, they've got some very good players for the Premier League, especially going forward. They're definitely going to have one of the best front three outside of the top six, if you get what I mean, for the upcoming season. I do really like some of their signings that they have made in the past couple of seasons, and I'm going to go with a 9th place finish for Crystal Palace. Maybe a lot higher than what a lot of people think, but I really do like their squad. 8th place, I have gone with Newcastle United. Again, they've not wasted money and splashed the cash. They've made some very good signings. Sven Botman from, I think that's Lille, is a very good signing. Nick Pope from Burnley, I think think he's a fantastic recruit. Elliot Anderson has come back from his loan with Bristol Rovers in League 2, and I think he's actually going to get a chance in the first team this season, which is very good for him. Callum Wilson's a goal scorer at Premier League level if he can keep him fit. Alan St. Maximin, we all know what he brings to the squad. Joelinton as a box-to-box midfielder has been fantastic. That's gone along with players like Bruno Guimaraes. They've also got Kieran Trippier at right back. You know, they've got a very, very good squad for the Premier League level. Eddie Howe's done a fantastic job so far, and I'm going to go with an 8th place finish for Newcastle. 7th place, I am going to go with West Ham. They've obviously made Alfonso Aliola into a permanent deal. They've brought in a centre-half from Rennes, I think that is. Flynn Downs as well from Swansea, as well as Gianluca Scamacca from Sassuolo. They are clearly improving in the areas where they felt they were a little bit light last season. They definitely did need to bring in a striker, so it's good news for them. With Antonio now being 32, he was never going to be able to cut it for a full 38-game season. Then all the games that they're going to be playing in Europe as well. So I'm going to go with a 7th place finish for West Ham. Moving in then to my top 6. 6th place, I have gone with Manchester United. They've made a couple of signings. You know, they've brought in Malaysia from Feyenoord, Christian Eriksen as well on a free transfer from Brentford. They have also brought in Lisandro Martinez, centre-half from Ajax, but he's only like 5'9" or something like that. Will he be able to cope in a back four at Premier League level? I'm not really too sure, to be honest with you. I think the starting centre-half, if Varane and Martinez could complement each other fairly well, but it's a long-term project, is the Erik Ten Hag era. Obviously, Ronaldo's future is still up in the air as well, so it'll be interesting to see how they do get on for the upcoming campaign, but I'm going to go with the 6th place finish for Manchester United. In 5th place, I've gone with Arsenal. Now, I'm really, really liking some of their signings. I think Zinchenko from Man City is a very good signing. Gabriel Jesus is a fantastic signing. If he stays fit for the full season, I do think they could maybe get into that top 4, but I'm not sure why. I just think the teams that are obviously in the top 4 will just slightly be a little bit stronger than Arsenal for the upcoming season. I think next season they really could challenge for a Champions League spot, potentially even challenge for 3rd, but I feel like some people are getting a little bit too overexcited with Arsenal. If Thomas Partey can keep fit for a full season, maybe they could sneak 4th spot, but for now I'm going to go with the 5th place finish for Arsenal. Moving in then to my top 4. If you haven't already, please make sure you drop a like on today's video and subscribe if you haven't already. In 4th place, I have gone with Chelsea. A lot of people seem to be predicting them to finish in 5th. I just think their squad is a little bit better than Arsenal's. Koulibaly is a fantastic signing. I know obviously Ludin Rudiger was a massive loss, but Koulibaly I think is a fantastic signing. Obviously Conor Gallagher, his loan has finished with, I think he was with Crystal Palace last season, so he might get a chance in the first team. I don't need to go through every single one of their players. Will Armando Broja as well be given a chance in the first team for the upcoming season, or will he go back out on loan? Potentially could be going to Newcastle on a permanent basis. Raheem Sterling from Manchester City for a fee of about £50 million, something like that. I think that's a fantastic signing at the age of only 27. He's got at least another 5-6 years left in him at his top level. I do think that is a very good sign. I think Chelsea will be finishing 4th for the upcoming season. 3rd place, I have gone with Tottenham Hotspur. I think you're very, very silly to predict Tottenham to finish over Liverpool. I like some of their signings, but I don't think their squad is anywhere near Liverpool's. They probably have a very good starting 11, but their squad, they're just lacking that depth. Obviously, they don't have Champions League football as well for the upcoming campaign. They brought Langley in on loan from Barcelona, Jed Spence as well from Middlesbrough for a fee of around about £20 million, something like that. Basuna as well from Brighton, I think is a fantastic signing. Perisic on a free transfer, Kulusevski as well as Richarlison. I like Richarlison, but is he worth 60 million? No, probably 40, 50 at the absolute max. I do think they have overpaid for that one. They've got one of the best front threes in the league. Heung-min Son and Harry Kane. That link-up play is fantastic. I'm going to go with the 3rd place finish for Tottenham because I think the Antonio Conte factor will not allow them to bottle another top 4 finish. Obviously, they finished 4th last season, but I'm going to go with the 3rd place finish this year for Tottenham. 2nd place, I have gone with Liverpool. A few people seem to think they're going to be dropping off and maybe finishing outside the top 4 completely. I understand the loss of Sadio Mane is a very significant loss, and Liverpool's midfield is fairly weak. If they get an injury to Fabinho or to Thiago, they're then relying on players like James Milner, Naby Keita, them sort of players, and I don't really think they can cut it with the way Jurgen Klopp wants to play football. I think this is going to be Luis Diaz's breakout season. Obviously, with Mane moving on, he probably will be the first choice left wing. If you have Diaz on the left, Salah on the right, Nunes through the middle, that's not including players like Jota, Fabio Carvalho, Roberto Firmino, Harvey Elliott. They have got a very good attack. Obviously, their defence is what their defence is. It's absolutely unbelievable. If you have a back 4 of Trent, Konate, Van Dijk and Robertson, I think that's a very good back 4. Alisson's the best keeper in the league, in my opinion, and I'm going to go with the 2nd place finish for Liverpool. I definitely do think it'll be Man City and Liverpool at the top, then a little bit of a drop-off before Tottenham, Chelsea and Arsenal. Any of them 3 could really rotate between each other, but I think the top 2 definitely will be Liverpool Liverpool and Manchester City, in my opinion. Obviously, winning the league, that does mean it will be Manchester City. They have had a few players go out the door, but they've brought in players like Erling Haaland, like Julian Alvarez as well. Obviously, Calvin Phillips as well. I think that is a little bit of an underrated signing. He provides some fantastic cover for Rodri. He might not be playing week in, week out, but I think he's, more than proven at Premier League level. I can say that now that he has left Manchester City. Riyad Mahrez is a fantastic player. Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, Jack Grealish. The list goes on with how good Manchester City's squad is, and I think they will be making another Premier League title success story. Potentially, they could win the Champions League as well for the upcoming campaign. But there you have it then. That is where I'm going to leave it for today's video. If you have enjoyed, make sure you drop a like on it. 70 likes, as I said at the start of today's video, would be absolutely class. Subscribe if you are new as well. We are now on the road to 7,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already, with that post notification bell on. It's free to do so, and it does massively help out. Get your predictions in as well down in the comment section down below. Do you agree with my predictions? Let me know who's winning the league, who will finish in the top 4, and who will be relegated in the upcoming campaign. Thank you very much for watching. Shout out to our current tier 2 channel member Dylan Broadhead, and our current tier 3 channel member B Davies 211. I think you're actually watching this on my birthday as well, so happy birthday to me. Thank you very much for watching though. Have a great rest of your day, and I shall see you all tomorrow for another video. Peace.